Hi and welcome to another training video. And so for week 6 of fundamental BIM asset data management course, we are tasked to choose our own image or pictures of furnitures that we are going to model. And so this image on the right of a broken chair is from Andrew, and in this tutorial we'll be recreating this chair. So as you can see on my screen, this is a finished product over here, although the kind of proportion are not exactly the same. However, that is just a minor issue. The most difficult part about this chair is that it's curved at the back, and therefore making it very hard to be a parametric family. So without further ado, we'll proceed with creating this new chair. So new family, and like everything else, I always start with matrix generic model. Open. So this is what we start off with whenever we click matrix generic model. So the first thing is always deciding on the number of reference planes. So I'm just going to create 2 more vertical reference plane and make sure to put the dimension. All these are steps that you guys should already know and should be familiar with. Okay, so if you're not familiar with any of the things that are the basic things that we are doing, please do not proceed with all these advanced families. Go back to week number 5, training materials, training videos, to kind of catch up over there before you head on to more complex families. Okay, so this one I'm just going to create a parameter for the width, and this is a new parameter for the depth of the chair. So that's going to make it 1000 by 1000. Just stretch it a bit longer over here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to create is the seat itself. So create extrusion rectangular tool, lock all 4 sides, press the green tick, go to the front view, and a few more reference plane. So 1 and 2 over here. So one of them will be the height and the other will be the legs height. So this will be legs height and the other one will be height. Okay, so I'm going to set this seat as about 100 mm. Yeah, I think 50 will be fine. So 50 5 cm thickness. So let me make it 100. Okay, so now that I have the thickness as 100, I'm just going to do a dimension so that it remains at 100 all the time regardless of wherever I move it. So I want to move these seats to the bottom of legs height. Align, lock it, and I'm just going to change the height and legs height over here. Family types 2000, legs is 1000, or I will just do it as height divided by 2. That would be much easier. Okay, so there you go, the seat is over here and the height of the chair. The next step I'm going to do is the front 2 legs. As you can see in the picture on the right side, okay, the back legs are curved, the front legs are straight, so they have to be done in different extrusions. So the first extrusion will take into account the first or the front 2 legs of the chair. So let's go back to my floor plans first to create, and create extrusions, rectangular shape. I'm just going to make it 100 by 100 and 100 by, okay, I'll just adjust it later. So you have to align bottom one as well, and then I'm just going to do a dimension to make sure it's 100. Okay, so it's going to lock this. So the left leg is done. Now I'm going to do the same for the right leg. Lock it, lock the bottom as well. Do the dimension over here. I'm going to change this to 100 just by clicking on the line. Change it to 100 and lock the dimension over here. So that is the front legs. And I go back to the front elevation and make sure my legs are connected to the bottom of the seat. So in the 3D view, this is what we'll be having. Okay, the 3D view. And the next, before our next, I will just create the support on the front. And the reason why I'm going to create the support at the front first, because the support at the left and right are a bit curved in relative to the legs at the back. So they definitely have a different shape. The front one is just a rectangular piece, so that will be easier to do. Go to floor plans, create, extrusion, and then I'm just going to draw a rectangle here and lock all 4 of them. After which I go to the front elevation. Okay, I'm going to keep this support, the front support, as about 100 and 200. Okay, I'm going to keep this as 200. I'm going to make sure that I have a dimension of it and lock it. And now I'll bring the support to the bottom of the seat by using the align command. And remember to lock. So in 3D, this is how it would look currently. Okay, the next, I'm not going to create the left and right support. What I'm going to do is create the 2 legs at the back, and as you can see, they are actually curved as mentioned previously. We are not going to be able to do it in the reference level view. We're not able to just create an extrusion from reference level. We have to do it in either the left or right view. So I'm just going to open up my left elevation. And the first thing I'm going to do is press create, extrusion, and I'll use the arc tool. So the end point and the start point, it doesn't matter, it's just basically 2 points. And then I don't want to curve too much, maybe just something like that will be sufficient. And what I want to do is just to draw a line about 100 mm from the top and 100 mm from the bottom. And next I'm going to use the copy command over here just to copy, make sure that the arc is kind of the same curvature for the inner arc and as well as the outer arc, just by doing the copy. Next is to align the top and align the bottom to the reference plane as well. And the other align is the horizontal align. To prevent this chair from moving, I'm just going to lock from the back reference plane. And as you can see, I cannot lock this long line over here because it's a curve. However, I can lock the point, which I'm going to do it. So I lock the top point, I'm going to lock the bottom point as well. And then I'm going to do a dimension from the reference plane to the other point, lock it, reference plane to the other point, lock it over there, and press the green tick. So this is anything that is pertaining to do with curve shapes. It will be better to always try it the moment you complete it. So this is the back legs. Okay, it doesn't matter whether it's the right position now, but I only would care if the height is going to be parametric. So I'm just going to try it. Family types, change it to 2500, press OK. You can see it's actually moving well. So I've done the legs is working as what it should be. All I need to do now is to place it in the proper position. Go to floor plans, reference level. Okay, so this is the legs. I'm just going to make sure that is about actually not necessary. I'm just going to follow the front legs. The thickness will follow the front legs. So this one I align to the reference plane, and I'll use the front legs to align the back legs. Oops. Remember to lock it. And I'm just going to mirror this to the other side and lock again. When you mirror, a lot of things will go missing, so remember to lock again. And the next thing is to check within the sketch mode whether there are locks inside, which I know there isn't because it happens all the time. So this right leg is not locked yet, so I'm just going to click on it, go to the right elevation, edit extrusion, and you can see it's not locked to anything and there's no dimensions. So I need to kind of lock it again. So this is the reference plane, lock it to the point, reference plane, lock it to the point, create a dimension, 100, excellent, and 100, lock, excellent, and press the green tick and go back to the 3D view, and I change the height. It should function as expected. As you can see, everything is going very smoothly at the moment, and this is when I can start to create the support on the left side and the right side of the chair. So I'm going to go to the left elevation, create extrusion, and instead of drawing lines, I'm going to use the pick lines command over here inside the sketch mode. I'll pick underneath the chair, lock it, and the curvature of the back legs, lock it. This is the front, also lock this, and I lock this under the support. And next I'm just going to use the trim command. Trim this, trim this, trim this, and trim this, and press the green tick. I'm just going to go to the floor plans again to make sure it is aligned. So I align here, and then the front legs will control the support, thickness of the support as well. So just lock it. So again, I want to try if it works. Let's go to the 3D, because this is a more complicated family, so everything preferably you go ahead and test whether the parameters are working. So family types, width 1500, depth 1500, height 2005. You can see it is working as intended, so this is correct. And I just have to go to the right view and do the same. Create, extrusion, pick lines, and now you can actually pick the bottom of the previous support. However, you shouldn't do it. I'll still select this line over here, which is the bottom of the seat, lock it, curvature, lock it, the front legs, lock it, and I'm not going to select this line because this is the other support on the left side. So what I want to do is make sure that they follow the support in front. Okay, so both of the support at the left and right will always follow the front support. So the left support will follow the front, but the right support will not follow the left support. So the line that I'll select is over here, and I'll lock it. Next, do the trim command. Okay, let me see, here, here, and here, and lock it. Go to the floor plans reference level, align here to here, front legs to the support. So there, oops, there you go. This is what we have done so far. Okay, looking pretty good. And the next step is to create the support for the back. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the left view to create the support for the back. As you can no, you can't see it, but I presume that the back support over here, my mouse is smaller than the thickness of the legs. So create extrusion, and then before I create extrusion, I'm just going to use the pick lines command, and I just want to set the offset to about 20. And you can see when I point in any lines, there will be an offset of 20 in the blue dotted lines. So I'll click it, and I'll click it. Afterwards, I'll just draw a normal line. Just make this offset to 0, otherwise you can't draw. So just set it here, and then I'm just going to make the thickness of this back support here to be 100. So I'm just going to copy it down. Oh, sorry, this is rotate. Oops, copy down by 100, and use the trim command to fix all this. Afterwards, remember to align. So this will follow the top, and reference plane to the bottom sketch. Make sure it's locked at 100, and press the green tick. Go to the reference level. And inside the reference level, you can see that the support can't be seen. However, in the 3D, I'm sure it's there. So in order for you to see this inside your reference level, okay, we need to adjust the view range. Okay, so basically the shape over there is too high, so the view is unable to capture this portion that we have done so far. So we go to reference level, click on reference level. On the left hand side, there's a view range, and under cut plane, I'm just going to make it higher, about 2000. I should be able to see the support at the top, and there you go. Once I change to 2000, press OK, I can see things that are higher than usual. So this chair is super huge, about 4 meters in height. So sometimes if the object is too high or the shape is too high, you will not be able to see it in your reference level. So I'm just going to align to this side and align to the other side. 3D view. Just play with the parameters again. Always check, always test. Working as intended. Excellent. And now I'm just going to create the back support again, the horizontal one at the bottom. So the top one is completed. The next one we're going to do is the bottom one. So left elevation. And before I create the bottom elevation, bottom support, I'm just going to create another reference plane in the middle. Do a dimension. Use the EQ, and that is where I'm going to position the bottom back support. So again, I'm just going to go to create, extrusion, pick lines. Okay, here, and then make sure that it's 20 offsets from the left, from the right, and then offset set to 0 just to reset it. Draw a straight line. Now, I don't not draw a straight line. I will just copy this line down by 100. So I'm going to use the trim command. Here, align it here. Do a dimension. Lock it. Press the green tick. Go to the reference level. Make sure to align it. At this point in time, it doesn't matter what you align to. You notice there's a lot of different lines available, but as long as not much, there's no reference plane there, then I guess it's not that important to know what you're aligning at this point in time. Let's go back to the 3D. You can see the bottom support is over there. Next, we're going to create the vertical support for the back, 2 pieces. So in this case, I'll still do it from the left view. Okay. Create extrusion. And right now, instead of 20, I'm just going to change it to offset 30 because I believe the vertical support is thinner than the horizontal support. So choose the curvature of the chair or the legs. And just pick the, remember to reset the offset to be 0. Pick the bottom. Pick on this reference plane since it's over there. I'm not sure if I locked this, so I'm just going to delete and make sure I pick it and I lock it. And use the trim command. Okay, so this is the vertical back support. Press the green tick, and inside the 3D view, I'm just gonna, before I actually align it, I'm just gonna check all of them, all the parameters are working. Actually, they are doing very well. Everything is perfect over here. So I'm just gonna go to my reference level, and I just want to make this about 50 thickness. So it's going to be a difference between extrusion end and start to be 50 difference. Make sure to do a dimension, lock it, and I will just kind of mirror this over here. And I'm just going to, once I mirror, I know there's a lot of locks and dimensions going to be missing from the extrusion. So I'm just going to click this, go to the left elevation, edit extrusion. You can see there's no lock whatsoever, so I'm just going to lock it. So remember that when you mirror or copy, certain things will not be copied over. For example, the dimensions and the lock. So you have to lock it one more time. Press the green tick and just go back to the floor plans. And I'm just going to create a parameter that controls where the back support will be. Okay, so a new parameter, back, maybe vertical support offset. This will be vertical support offset as well, and I'm going to make it the scale a bit smaller because the words are kind of distracting at the moment. Okay, that's a little bit better. So for vertical support, I'm just going to give it a formula. It will be width divided by 3. Okay, there you go, 333. So whenever the width is adjusting, the support will roughly be kind of the center of the model at all times. Okay, so what else? Okay, I think you are also being worried about this portion at the back. As you can see, it's protruding out, and you will be thinking, what should you do with this thing at the back? And don't worry, because I have found a solution that works for this curvature of the chair. What we're going to do is we're going to create a void form from the left or right elevation, and that it will follow kind of the curvature of the chair, so that whenever the chair increase in height, the curvature, whatever it changes to, the void will kind of adapt to the curve itself. So let's go to the left elevation, create void forms, void extrusion. I'm just going to use the pick lines command over here, pick this green line, lock it, pick the back of the chair, back of the legs, lock it, and I'll use the trim command. Let me see, trim over here, press the green tick, go to the 3D view, and you can see my void is created here. So all I need to do is select the void, pull it all the way to the end, lock it, pull it all the way to the other end, lock it, and there you go. Okay, so when I make adjustments to the height to maybe 3000, you can see that it's always going to be cutting, adapting to the curvature of the legs. Maybe I'll do it in the left elevation so you can see what's happening better. So I change this back to 2500. You can see that oh, here is something wrong over here. Later I'll make some fixes on this portion. But as you can see, the back is still working very well. Alright, so next we'll go to, let me go to the left elevation, because the last thing that we're going to do is the back support. So create extrusion, pick lines, so you can pick the bottom of the chair, pick the support, pick the curvature of the legs, pick the curvature of the legs again, use the trim command, press the green tick, go to floor plan's reference level. So this is the back support, to the side, lock it to the other side and lock it over here. So 3D view, you can see this is being done. Then change the height. Again, all this kind of testing is necessary to see whether things are going well or not. So in the left elevation, I noticed that this is not going too well, so I'm just going to check. This is perfect, this is perfect. Okay, let me just check this out. You see the support is kind of moving away, so before I proceed, I will just take a look at the other family that I already created and see if there's the same issues first. So as you can see, one of the back support is not working as intended. So when I give it a higher height over here, you realize that it's out of position. So we're just going to, I found a solution so that it stays in the middle. So what I'm going to do is we're going to redo this portion of the work. So I'll go into 3D view. I'm just going to delete all this back support and do it again. So after all of them are deleted, I go back to my left elevation to start rebuilding the top portion. Create, extrusion, and again I'm just going to keep this at 20 for offsets. Pick lines, select it, then keep it at 0. Select the reference plane and copy another 100 away. Okay, so make sure you dimension it, and not only you have the linear dimension, you also need to put a radial dimension. So just click on it, put it down, click on it, put it down. So I have created 2 linear dimensions. So apparently by placing the linear dimensions, this curvature will always remain the same regardless of how high the chair will be. And if you do not place this dimension over here, and then the shape of this support will kind of change. So apparently just by putting a dimension, it just makes sure that it's fixed arc length over here. Press the green tick, and then I'll do another one, create, extrusion, and this time I will lock it to the top portion. So how I'm going to lock is use the pick lines tool, click on this, and you can see the lock is on the top left corner. The lock is on. So click on this, click on the bottom. I'm going to copy another 100 away, and there is the trim command. And then do a dimension, lock it. So for this arc for the bottom of the horizontal support, there is no need to create a radial dimension, simply because the arc is following the one at the top. So the one at the top is correct, then the one at the bottom will be correct as well. So I'm just going to press the green tick, and before we continue, just because we're going to try making some adjustments. As you can see, is still in place over here. Okay, as you can see. And the last one is the vertical portion. Create, extrusion, and the offset will be 30. And then while I pick the lines over here, I make it 0 before you pick. So it's locked, and the bottom one is locked as well. So just trim the remaining lines, and this time, because this arc is not following or is not aligned to the vertical support, you need to put a radial dimension. Just put it one time, put it second time, and go and press the green tick over here. So let me just put a different value. As you can see, it's working. So let's go maybe higher. And yep, it is still working as intended over here. So that's excellent. Whatever we have done is working. Right now, if I go to the 3D view, you realize that it's not aligned yet. So I'm just going to use the align tool. Lock it. Lock this one as well. Lock the bottom. Lock the bottom. And then this one, I have to go to the floor plans view. So it's this one over here. I'm just going to make sure that it is by 50. Difference of 50. Make sure to put a dimension. Lock it. And then dimension from the reference plane. Set this as your legs. Where is it? I haven't created that yet. So what I'm going to do for this, create a new parameter. Vertical support offset. Press OK. Oh, it's already vertical support offset. Oh, it's over here, vertical support offset. And then what I need to do is just to mirror another one. And when I mirror, I just want to make sure I check it as well. Go to my left elevation, edit extrusion. Okay, the dimension is there. Is it locked? It's not locked, so I have to lock it. Press the green tick. Go back to reference level. Put a vertical support offset over here. So that should work. Let's make some changes. Oh, this should be maybe 1500, 1500. And you can see the chair is adjusting on its own. So a few of course, one portion is a broken leg. So the front, if you look at the bottom right leg is broken. So we're just going to use a voice extrusion to cut the bottom right hand corner legs over here. Go to the front elevation. Create void forms, void extrusion. I'm just going to create a very simple one. So just going to create this shape over here. Press the green tick. Go to 3D. You realize that, oops, I'm cutting the wrong leg. It should be the one in front. So let's make sure it's pulled to the front. Lock it and pull and lock it as well. Okay, and then use the cut geometry on top over here. Select the object, select the void. There you go. The leg is cut. And the last step is basically you can see that there's some lines intersecting between the seat and the curved legs at the back. So what I'm going to do is use the join geometry tool. Click on the seat, click on the leg, click on the seat, click on the other leg over there, and there you have your chair. So just one final check. I'm just going to change some parameters. Excellent, isn't it? It's working. So this is for broken chair. It takes a long time, about 30 minutes to get this done. So it's one of the more advanced geometry creation for a chair. So hope you enjoyed this session and see you in the next one.